Welcome to Rebecca's Reading Room. I'm your host, Rebecca Budd, and I'm so glad you've stepped inside. Recently, I was on a retreat on Vancouver Island, and as I walked around a quiet lake, these thoughts began to gather. They came slowly, as thoughts often do when we give them space, and I would like to share them with you. There are many ways to encounter a book now. We see them offered, recommended, summarized, reduced, and discussed in passing. They move quickly through our lives, appearing and disappearing with the rhythm of the day. It can feel as though reading itself has become something to keep up with, rather than something to enter. And yet there remains another way. There are still rooms, whether physical or imagined, where a book is not hurried, where it is opened slowly, returned to often, and allowed to settle into the mind over time. In such a space, reading is not a task or a measure of progress. It is a quiet companionship. This is the spirit in which Rebecca's Reading Room is offered. It is not a place of urgency. There is nothing here to keep up with, nothing to compete, nothing to consume. The words gathered here are meant to be met as one might meet a familiar chair near a window, or a desk where thoughts are allowed to unfold without interruption. One may enter at any point, remain for as long as desired, and leave without any sense of having fallen behind. Books in this setting are not presented as items to be acquired or completed, but as presences to be lived with. Some will be returned to again and again. Others will be set aside and discovered later, when the moment is right. There is no expectation of pace, only the invitation to pay attention. Reading, in this sense, becomes a form of listening, not only to the writer, but to one's own response, one's own memory, one's own quiet recognition of something that feels true. It asks very little, and yet offers a great deal in return. And when we return to a book, when we revisit its pages after time has passed, we do not meet it as we once did. Something within us has shifted. We bring new questions, new experiences, new ways of seeing. The book has remained, but we have changed. In this way, we begin to understand that we are not separate from what we read. We are, in some quiet sense, part of the story. The lives we encounter, the thoughts we follow, the moments that stay with us, they enter into our own lives and take their place there. There is a steadiness in this way of reading, a sense that time is not being spent, but kept. Notes may be made, passages revisited, thoughts allowed to gather and take shape slowly. Nothing needs to be hurried, and nothing needs to be proven. Rebecca's Reading Room is offered in that spirit, You may come here when you wish. You may read a little or a great deal. You may linger or simply pass through. The door remains open. And so the room waits, not to be filled, but to be entered whenever the moment calls you back.